on the job at the Motiva plant in Port Arthur. What we know right now as we look at OSHA statistics from the last decade.
Plus, a step toward peace in the Middle East as President Trump returns from Egypt. A look at what's to come and the challenges for phase 2.
And a Southeast Texas blacksmith is bringing history to life, one hammer strike at a time. How you can check out Rob Fleury's unique demonstrations. 12 News Daybreak starts now. Good morning. Thanks for waking up with Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Tia Johnson.
And I'm Mark Armstrong. It's 7:01 and there is an increased risk this morning of wildfires here in Southeast Texas. Several fires, they've recently been put out in Jasper County. Now, just yesterday, one broke out on Highway 63 West near County Road 82. It took firefighters about 45 minutes and 6,000 gallons of water to contain this. Crews, they had to cut down trees, and the Texas A&M Forest Service, they got involved too. Now, in fact, several Southeast Texas counties right now, you see it here on your screen, now under a burn ban. Jefferson and Orange counties, they're the latest to be added to this list, which also includes Tyler, Newton, Liberty, and Chambers counties. Probably quicker to tell you which ones are not on that list now. Conditions, they are extremely dry, meaning there's an elevated risk of wildfires. Now, local fire departments, they want you to avoid any outdoor burning, including campfires. And with that, let's go ahead and check in with Jeff. Here's a live look outside from our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network above Jasper. We're about 10 minutes shy of sunrise here, and Jeff Gerber, he's standing by right now with today's forecast. Hey, Jeff.
Good morning. Yeah, we wish we can get some rain in here. It looks like we do have rain chances for the weekend, but unfortunately, they're not great rain chances. We'll see maybe a couple of showers over the weekend, not enough to really help with some of those burn bans, it looks like. As we look at current temperatures, we're in the 50s for most of Southeast Texas, 57 in Beaumont, 59 in Orange, 58 in Kirbyville, then 57 in Jasper. Still showing around 60 in Silsbee, 63 in Woodville, and 64 in Port Arthur. Once again, outside, we're having clear skies this morning. Lots of sunshine out there to start your day. We'll see maybe a couple of clouds develop during the afternoon, but not a lot of cloud cover for today. Our day planner shows mostly sunny skies through the afternoon. Highs will be in the upper 80s. We'll see a little bit of a northeasterly wind today between about 3 and 8 miles per hour. As I mentioned, we'll see a rain chance from Friday through Sunday this week, but it won't be much. We'll look at your rain coverages for your weekend coming up in weather in just a little bit.
All right, Jeff. Well, this morning we are working to learn more about a death at a local refinery.
A contractor was killed while working at the Motiva plant in Port Arthur. A Motiva spokesperson tells 12 News the worker died close to 3 p.m. yesterday. The company hasn't said what led up to their death, but Motiva did say it's investigating the incident. In a statement to 12 News, the company said, quote, "We extend our deepest condolences to the individual's family, friends, and colleagues during this difficult time." OSHA has reported 55 accidents or deaths at the Motiva Port Arthur refinery in the last 10 years.
Across Texas now, we are learning more about that deadly plane crash in Fort Worth on Sunday. Investigators say that the plane went down near Hicks Airfield, hitting several parked 18-wheelers and setting them on fire. The medical examiner still working to identify the 2 people killed in that crash as the NTSB investigates.
Officials in Tennessee have identified the 16 people who are presumed dead after a plant explosion Friday. Accurate Energetic Systems processes ammunition and explosives. Investigators are still working to learn what caused that blast. They're having to work slowly due to the massive amounts of debris and the potential of more explosive materials in the rubble. Controlled detonations were set off Sunday to help dispose of hazardous materials. Several federal and local agencies are investigating.
Together we've achieved what everybody said was impossible. At long last, we have peace in the Middle East.
President Donald Trump declaring the war is over in Gaza as he's returning from Egypt today. And he says that the peace deal is the first big step to peace in the Middle East. But the focus now shifts to phase 2 and the challenges to come. This includes who's going to be responsible for governing Gaza. Now, in the first phase of the ceasefire agreement, Hamas released 20 living Israeli hostages and the bodies of some deceased hostages. In exchange, Israel released nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. When pressed to talk about phase 2, now Trump wouldn't commit to a solution, nor would he address whether Hamas would be willing to give up its weapons.
I don't see any scenario in which Hamas is going to 100% willingly give up all their arms to the Israelis.
Now, while more than 20 world leaders gathered yesterday for the historic peace summit in Egypt, Israel and Hamas, they were noticeably absent. Experts saying that the memorandum appeared largely symbolic and vague.
Meanwhile, Senate lawmakers will be back in Washington today. They were out yesterday for Columbus Day as the government shutdown hits the 2-week mark. Yesterday, Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson said this could be the longest shutdown in U.S. history. Democrats who have the minority are holding out for health care benefits, but Speaker Johnson says he won't negotiate until lawmakers pause those health care demands and reopen the government.
The Democrats in the Senate's next opportunity to end this, to change this and vote yes and reopen the government will be tomorrow. And I pray that they will do the right thing. And then we'll all get together and have our partisan disputes and discussions on all the issues that remain on the table for the end of the year.
Senate lawmakers have had several failed votes to fund the government.
Well, here at home, if you're interested in becoming Sour Lake's next interim mayor, your time is running out. You're going to need to submit your letter of interest by the end of today. Now, this comes as Bruce Robinson, who has served in the role for 24 years, is stepping down. City council members are going to appoint the new interim mayor at their meeting on October 21st. So if you want to be considered for this role, and hopefully you need to be a resident of Sour Lake, it is your last day to get that letter in. Well, your time is now 7:06, and the Spindletop Gladys City Boomtown Museum is taking visitors back in time, showing them what life was like in Beaumont's early days.
It's time to think back to the Southeast Texas oil boom because one local blacksmith is bringing history to life, one hammer strike at a time. 12 News reporter Derek Jones live at Spindletop this morning with more on Rob Fleury's unique demonstrations. Hey, Derek.
Good morning, Mark and Tia. Local blacksmith Rob Fleury has been shaping metal since he was a teenager. Now he's demonstrating to visitors at the museum that blacksmiths are important not only to the community, but to the world. They say books are mirrors of ourselves. That is the case for Rob Fleury after reading the story of King Arthur and his noble knights.
Then at 12, Mom got me a library card at our local library. And the first thing I did was ask the librarian, how do they make swords?
By reading books on blacksmiths, Fleury was able to forge his first sword at the age of 13. He did not stop there, cutting and shaping metal into swords, axes, knives, and many other tools people use every day, selling those items as tools and collectibles to give people a taste of history.
The ancient Persians and the Mesopotamians were the first blacksmiths. When they struck Spindletop here, blacksmiths made all the tools that they used to drill for the oil.
Spindletop Museum Specialist Hope Meredith couldn't agree more, stating that Spindletop and the oil industry would not be possible without blacksmiths. She says when visitors come to the museum, they are excited to hear the clanging of a hammer.
When we mention that we do have a volunteer blacksmith, they want to know when he comes, what are his hours, so that they can stop by just to see him. So certainly he is an attraction here.
And although technology is advancing around the blacksmithing community, Fleury believes that the world will still need to depend on the blacksmiths just as much.
Blacksmithing is technology. It is the very basics of our technological society. We're definitely a part of history that needs to be kept alive.
Now, if you guys want to see Rob make a demonstration here at the Spindletop Museum, he will be here on Thursdays and Fridays from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., and he'll have these sessions all the way up until November 20th. At Spindletop, Derek Jones, 12 News.
All right, Derek. Well, homecoming celebrations for the Lamar University, they kicked off yesterday, and the day of festivities, it ended last night with a bonfire. The day has started off with Greek Life Rec Day activities at Cardinal Park, and it ended with that big bonfire and Royal Court showcase at the Spindletop Boomtown Museum. Lamar's homecoming game, that's going to be this Saturday, and the Cards are going to take on the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley at 3 p.m. at Provost Humphrey Stadium. Homecoming week, it continues tonight with patio night. Students, they can gather at the patio at the rec center and get crafty, making do-it-yourself homecoming mums and corsages to wear on the game day Saturday. That's all starting at 7 tonight. Well, misconceptions about credit, they can keep you from achieving your financial goals. Now, in Your Money Matters, Bianca B. is busting common credit myths. Take a look.
There are no dumb questions when it comes to money, but there are myths that could influence how you make money moves, so let's talk about it.
All debt is inherently bad.
That's not always the case. If you don't have money, responsible borrowing can help you get things that you otherwise couldn't afford.
There are things you can do to buckle down and try to get out of debt as quickly as your budget allows.
Checking your credit score can lower it.
Your credit score can drop a few points when a lender checks it for a credit card application or loan, but checking your own credit score regularly is actually recommended.
Myth número 3. You have one credit score.
Not all credit scores are the same. In fact, most people have multiple credit scores.
Lenders use a variety of these scoring models for different purposes. The model that comes into play when you finance a car purchase might be different from the one that comes into play when you buy a house.
Carrying a credit card balance builds your credit score.
I'll have Sarah Rathner from NerdWallet explain this one.
I don't know where it came from, but you don't have to pay interest on credit card balance to build your credit. In fact, you shouldn't. If you have the money to pay your credit card bills in full, on time, every month, do it.
Credit repair firms can purge a bad credit history.
No legitimate credit repair service can remove negative information from your credit report if that information is accurate. But people with bad credit can take steps towards improving it.
Just gather up what you owe on all of your credit cards, any proof of financial hardship, and call up the companies and see what they can do to work with you.
And coming up next here on 12 News Daybreak, a home invasion prank using artificial intelligence has Round Rock police sounding the alarm. We've got more on that. Your time is now 7:12.
We begin with breaking news in Port Neches.
Firefighters continue attacking the flames from the air.
We're working to learn more about a police chase.
We'll give you a live look at the scene tonight. Our crew there.
A chase in Port Neches turned into a standoff.
So we're working to get you more information.
We're going to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
I wouldn't say that I was like a partier, but I would say that I was a social butterfly. So we would just always drink. That night, I went through a red light and I T-boned another vehicle. And I just remember thinking like, oh no. Right after the DWI, I lost my license and I did 30 days in jail. I could have killed him because I decided to be reckless. I have a ton of regrets. I'm Katie. 5 years ago, I got a DWI and I'm still paying for it every day.
As tropical activity picks up in the Gulf, 12 News is your hurricane headquarters. Get prepared before a storm hits. Watch the 12 News Hurricane Special, streaming on 12 News Plus. From the must-haves in your supply kit to the evacuation routes you'll need to take, plus safety tips and how you can protect yourself from storm scammers. The 12 News Hurricane Special, keeping you prepared. Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, "Don't mess with Texas," means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, "Don't mess with Texas" means don't litter.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn here with one of the most important hurricane tips, having an evacuation plan. First, gather food, water, and medicine before storing it in an emergency kit. Plan well in advance where you're going, how you'll get there, and if you'll need to transport any pets, small children, or the elderly. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
Welcome back. Police in Round Rock, they want people to know about a new and dangerous prank. It uses AI images to mimic a home invasion, and it is circulating on social media. KVUE's Jessica Cha has more on what to look for and what people think about the trend.
Creating an alleged crime scene could be at your fingertips these days. Take a look at this picture we made with AI of a stranger in a kitchen.
It looked like a burglary. It looked like a home invasion. As a parent, I'm a parent myself. If I saw that, I would call the police.
That's exactly what Commander Tom Sloan with the Round Rock Police Department says kids are doing right now, and they've seen it twice in the past week. Kids are creating AI images of people inside of their homes and sending it to their parents, saying someone broke in as part of a social media trend.
With information, hey, there's someone in the house, and wow, that is my house. It looks like a real person, and they contacted 911 as anyone would if you've got a stranger in your home.
And it's really easy to make one of these images yourself. If we use ChatGPT and ask it to add a person to the background, then something like this can be made in just a few minutes. And at a glance, it looks pretty real.
We showed a few people what we made and asked what they thought.
At a glance, would you think it's real?
Yeah, unfortunately.
No, not really. But both women agreed that the trend is scary, and police say it's definitely serious.
It's a serious response because it's a serious allegation that someone's in your house. It's going to be multiple police cars. You wanted to surround the house and make sure that you've got a good perimeter established because we don't want the subject inside to escape.
And it can also get you in a lot of trouble. It's illegal to elicit a police response for a fabricated reason.
Use technology sensibly, and please stop with the pranks because it is tying up police resources that could be better utilized elsewhere within our community.
Bad things could happen. Police could show up and shoot somebody on accident or Lord knows what.
And it's something to talk about with your kids.
Just about being able to recognize things that aren't real, not trusting everything that we see. We try to limit his screen time and keep him off the internet.
In Round Rock, Jessica Cha.
Starting off your Tuesday with clear skies across southeast Texas. You can see it here from our Pack of the Prey camera in downtown Beaumont. Our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network currently showing 67 degrees downtown, humidity at 83%, and we have a little bit of a northeasterly wind, about 4 to 5 miles per hour for this morning. 50s and 60s this morning, 59 right now in Orange, 57 officially in Beaumont, 57 in Jasper, 58 in Kirbyville. Showing some 60s as well, 64 in Port Arthur, 60 in Silsbee, and 63 in Woodville. Pretty quiet across most of the state. We do have a few, do have a few showers down towards South Texas and a couple of showers also up towards the Texas Panhandle. Besides that, looks like we're going to see mostly sunny skies for today. Starting off around the 60-degree mark, we come up from there into the middle 70s by 10 a.m., lower 80s by lunchtime, and then we'll see upper 80s as we go in your afternoon. Like I said, lots of sunshine today, a little bit of a northeasterly breeze. 70s for the evening hours, and then we go back down into those 60s, mainly lower 60s, upper 50s, again for tomorrow morning, a lot like this morning with mostly clear skies. Out in the Atlantic, there's Tropical Storm Lorenzo. We'll talk about this for the last time. It'll still be sticking around through the weekend, but they only expect it to be a tropical storm and not affecting any land. It's staying out in the central Atlantic. So we'll give you an update here, but like I said, no reason to really talk about that. It's not going to be affecting anybody. Our forecast for tonight, clear skies. We'll see northeasterly winds at about 3 to 8. Temperatures in the upper 50s and lower 60s. As we head through our 7-day forecast, we're looking at temperatures to climb up into the upper 80s all the way through about Saturday. Once we get into Saturday, we do have a front coming through the area, and that should cool us down a couple of degrees. But this front really not going to bring much in the way of cooler air, maybe some drier air, but not cooler air. Notice through Thursday, morning lows are in the 60s, and then before that front gets here, we'll jump up into the upper 60s, lower 70s for a few days before we go back down into the lower 60s. That rain coverage we have out there, not going to be much, 20% for Friday, and then 30, maybe 40% for Saturday late in the day, if not Saturday night as the front pushes through, and then a few lingering showers as we get into Sunday morning. So We got some rain in the forecast, but it's not much. Not enough, let's just say that.
Certainly is not. Now, at what point do we go to a higher degree of, I don't know, I don't want to say drought or something like that, but
yeah, you go from abnormally dry to like a moderate drought, which some places in Hardin County are already starting to show a moderate drought. Yeah, so then you go from there to more of an extreme drought, and then you go from there. But yeah, right now we're just abnormally dry through most of the area.
Okay, well, we'll know you're going to stay on top of it. Thank you, Jeff.
Sure.
I'm serious, he is. All right, and just a reminder, you can download our app at any time to get the latest on Jeff's weather forecast. You can check the radar by going to the radar tab in the app. Thank you, Jeff. All right, it's 7:20, time for your trending news. And just yesterday on The Beat, we told you all about this Tennessee mom who gave birth to a 12-pound, 14-ounce baby boy back in July.
Now, this story isn't about her. It's another Tennessee mom that said, "Hold my beer." Not literally, of course.
Maybe. She's from Tennessee.
Kayla and Jordan welcomed baby Weston on September 16th at a whopping 13 pounds, 3 ounces. And get this, he was actually 2 weeks early. Kayla's doctor had to reschedule her C-section because he was already over 12 pounds with weeks to go, and her other babies weighed almost 9 and 10 pounds. What is she feeding them kids?
I know, right? Golly, he might be walking before she is.
Okay. All right, now to a wild video that, of course, was captured in Florida.
Of course. Police in Miami Beach, they are searching for the person who crashed a Tesla into a restaurant patio. Check this out. Security camera, they caught this intense moment at Norman's Tavern Sunday morning, and boom, it shows that white Tesla plowing through the patio and slamming into a palm tree, sending debris flying. Thankfully, the restaurant was closed and no one was hurt, but the driver just walked away. I would blame all this on autopilot if I was him. And as far as we know, he still hasn't been caught.
You better stay hiding.
They got the culprit. They got the Tesla. The thing drives itself.
Well, I guess you get the driver's license and stuff, right? I mean, there's ways to find them.
Yeah, track that guy down. All right, moving on to the San Diego Zoo. They are having to do some repairs after a dramatic encounter over the weekend went viral.
Yeah, cell phone video captured Denny, a 10-year-old gorilla, charging at the glass. Look at it. Oh. Someone upset him.
Get out of here.
You hear the crowd?
Get off my lawn.
Well, one layer of 3 tempered glass panel layers shattered, but no gorillas or people were hurt. Experts say the display could have been provoked by crowds, or Denny may have been sad because his brother recently died. Oh, but can you imagine standing in front of that glass when he charged it? Yeah, I would have. Ooh,
those things are huge.
Oh my God.
Surprisingly, those are the gentle ones of the great apes. Those are the ones that people go out into the mountains and just sit with them and stuff like that. They're really sweet. Just, don't make them mad. True story. True story.
All right. It's 7:23. Jeff will be back with another look at your forecast.
This is a tornado on the ground.
And the roads are slippery.
We have a tropical storm warning.
Look at this water.
Street flooding in Beaumont.
It is going to get extremely cold.
The metal building blew away from a business.
Staying safe behind the wheel is imperative.
Find a safe spot, move to an interior room.
Just make sure you're staying safe.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
The STEM fields are providing opportunity to be part of the developments that will shape the future, and the Army National Guard is at the forefront of the movement. Soldiers can serve part-time and choose from dozens of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics jobs, working with cutting-edge technology and innovations. And the skills and experience they receive can open doors for them to civilian careers in the STEM world. Join a team that is taking the lead in STEM by talking to a local recruiter or by going to nationalguard.com/careers.
409 Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses.
It's the heart that makes up the game, the triumph of the human spirit.
It's agony and victory, diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify a community.
We give you the stats, but then we inspire you with the stories. The unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable.
We bring it to you all because sports lives in the 409.
No matter where we start, every mile brings us closer. And as Texans, we take care of each other along the way. We lend a hand, slow down, and take our time. At the end of the day, we all want to get home safe. Drive like a Texan. Kind, courteous, and safe.
I'm meteorologist Kerry Cooper here with another hurricane tip. Stay connected. Sign up for free emergency alerts from your local county and plan on to monitor the latest local weather and news at 12newsnow.com. Being aware of any new information will be invaluable. And finally, know the types of alerts you may receive. A watch means be prepared, while a warning means act. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
409 Sports, brought to you by Golden Triangle Emergency Center, Orange.
And it is week 8 of high school football, and it is going to be a good one. The Westbrook Bruins are going to take on the Port Arthur Memorial Titans in our game of the week. The Bruins, they currently have a 5-1 record, and Port Arthur is undefeated. Kickoff is Friday at Memorial Stadium at 7 p.m. Also, be sure to get in your vote for the band of the week. Is it going to be the Bruins or the Titans? Well, you decide. Cast your vote at 12newsnow.com/band.
Nice at the bus stop for this morning. Nice and mild. We'll see some upper 50s, some lower 60s. Warm and dry at recess. Temperatures around 80 degrees, and then warm and dry on the way home with temperatures in the upper 80s. Don't need the rain gear for today, that's for sure. We'll see plenty of sunshine. Along the coast today, northeasterly wind at 5 to 10 knots, seas only about a foot. Only one high tide, that was way early this morning, 12:34 a.m. Our sunrise at 7:18, our sunsets at 6:46. Water temperature in the middle 80s right now out from Texas Point. We're seeing a northeasterly wind at 10 miles per hour and gusts to 12. Looks like a pretty good day if you have a chance to take the boat out for this afternoon.
All right, Jeff, well, coming up here on Daybreak on 12 News Plus, 12 News is your elections headquarters, and we're going to break down the Port Arthur or I should say the Port of Port Arthur's new bond proposal and the expansion that it would pay for.
Plus, a Southeast Texas blacksmith is bringing history to life, one hammer strike at a time. How you can check out Rob Flurry's unique demonstrations.
And a man breaks the Guinness World Record for the longest beard, and his hair is just as impressive. What he says the upkeep is like.
Wow, and it's 7:26. Looking at that sunrise in Lake Charles. We'll have more news and weather in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us here on 12 News Daybreak. I'm Mark Armstrong.
And I'm Tia Johnson. It's now 7:30. There's an increased risk of wildfires in southeast Texas this morning. Several fires have recently been put out in Jasper County. Just yesterday, one broke out on Highway 63 West near County Road 82. It took firefighters about 45 minutes and 6,000 gallons of water to contain it. Crews had to cut down trees, and the Texas A&M Forest Service got involved. In fact, several southeast Texas counties are now under a burn ban. Jefferson and Orange counties are the latest to be added to the list. That also includes Tyler, Newton, Liberty, and Chambers counties. Conditions are extremely dry, meaning there's an elevated wildfire risk. Local fire departments want you to avoid any outdoor burning, including campfires. And with that, let's check in with meteorologist Jeff Gerber taking a look at Lake Charles. And Jeff, the question right now is, does this typically happen around this time of the year?
It's not typical to see abnormally dry conditions out there. We're almost 9 inches behind for the year. We typically don't see something like that. Now, we could get 1 or 2 inches behind here and there, but these are a little bit abnormally dry conditions that we're dealing with. We've seen droughts before. I can't remember what year it was, but we had a very strong drought. Gosh, I wish I could remember the year off the top of my head, where we were way behind for the year, never did catch up, and we had all kinds of problems. So hopefully we'll get a good chance of rain in here before too long. We do have a rain chance in the forecast for this weekend, but it doesn't look like a lot of rain, so it might not help out too much. Right now, temperatures in the upper 50s and lower 60s, so some folks might want a lightweight jacket. You can see the clear skies as we head down towards Port Arthur. As we look at our forecast for today, we're looking at temperatures into the upper 80s. Dry today, northeasterly winds about 3 to 8. We'll look at those rain chances for your weekend coming up in just a bit.
Thank you, Jeff. This morning, we're working to learn more about a death at a local plant.
Yes, a contractor. He was killed while working at the Motiva refinery in Port Arthur. Now, a Motiva spokesperson, they tell 12 News that worker died close to 3 p.m. yesterday. The company hasn't said what led up to their death, but Motiva did say that it's investigating this incident. Now, in a statement to 12 News, the company said, quote, "We extend our deepest condolences to the individual's family, friends, and colleagues during this difficult time." Now, we checked the OSHA database, and according to them, they have reported 55 accidents or deaths or incidents at the Motiva Port Arthur refinery in just the last 10 years. All right, let's go ahead and move on now to your morning rush with some of the top stories today.
First up, Salvador Gomez of Brownsville was sentenced to 40 years in prison yesterday for a deadly crash last year. He pled guilty to 2 counts of intoxication manslaughter. He was in his pickup when he caused a head-on crash, killing 20-year-old Camille Marty, 25-year-old Lauren Stacks.
Beaumont detectives, they are trying to figure out the suspect responsible for the shooting or for shooting 2 people Saturday morning. This one happened outside the Masonic Lodge on South 5th Street around 1 a.m. Police say that a man shot into a crowd before driving off, and a security guard shot back. One victim was hit several times. The other one was grazed.
There was another shooting Saturday morning a block from the Lamar dorms at East Virginia in Hartle around 1:30 a.m. Campus and Beaumont police interviewed 4 men who said suspects in a truck pulled up and started shooting. Thankfully, they missed. No arrests have been made. Across Texas now to Houston, where there's a new push to solve a cold case from 1997.
Yeah, family members and investigators, they didn't hold back their frustrations yesterday, saying someone must know what happened to 14-year-old Erica Garcia, but they won't come forward. A warning, the details here are upsetting.
As long as I'm alive, I'm not going to give up on her. Because somebody out there knows something.
And that was Erica's mother speaking about the case yesterday. Erica was out with friends that night in 1997 when she ended up in an abandoned hospital. Investigators say there she was raped and strangled. Now, detectives say that they've interviewed her friends over the years, but they still don't have a suspect.
And I'm not going to hold back. You have individuals who, and they know who I'm talking about. They will know who I'm talking about when they see me, that are cowards.
Well, Crime Stoppers is offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to an arrest.
12 News is your election headquarters, and the Port of Port Arthur hopes voters will say yes to its new bond proposal. Port officials are seeking $92 million to expand, and they say the port needs more cargo handling and storage space, as well as better access.
Now, the last time that the port was up for a bond was nearly 10 years ago, and 12 News reporter Cameron Burchett, she has more.
It's jobs, it's industry, it's economic growth.
A proposed $92 million bond will be on the ballots this November. It would focus on infrastructure at the port. This means replacing a 100,000 square feet cargo holding area and building a new cargo shed.
Those that have followed the port for a number of years have seen our continued growth. We've more than doubled the amount of man hours that are being worked here.
CEO and director of the port, Larry Kelly, says this bond picks up where the previous one stopped.
This just provides for that next phase of construction that allows us to improve the buildings. We've built the docks. Now we need to build the buildings and some of the laydown space to support that. That's how it would keep propelling the port forward.
He says most people aren't aware of how vital the facility is, even when it's in their own backyard.
We move military cargo through here. We move lumber, move aluminum, and you'll also see a lot of eucalyptus pulp that winds up on your store shelves in the form of paper towels and facial tissue and the like.
Stuart Salter, a third-generation Port Arthur resident, thinks the tax increase is a worthwhile price to pay.
And I'm not necessarily pro-tax, but it's return on investment, and that's what I calculate.
Salter says this bond represents an opportunity for the city's future.
Port work is generally a stepping stone, and this gives everyone an opportunity to step up and step out.
The bottom line of this proposed bond:
but it certainly builds a much bigger runway for us to operate off of.
And people in Port Arthur and some areas of Groves and Sabine Pass are going to see this on the ballot next month.
Saying yes would cost you $4 a month for every $100,000 of your home's value. Early voting begins Monday. And don't forget, P&G ISD is holding a community meeting about its bond tonight. The $75 million bond would cover district-wide projects, including a new auditorium and a covered practice facility. The meeting starts at 5 p.m. at the P&G ISD admin building.
Also, another reminder for folks in Beaumont, the city is hosting an open house this Thursday. This is all about that big $264 million bond package that's going to be on the November ballot. It's going to be at the event center downtown. This open house is going to start with a question and answer panel at 6 p.m. The city's online open house that's going to last through this Sunday at BeaumontBonds.com. Well, the Spindletop Gladys City Boomtown Museum, it is taking visitors back in time, showing them what life was like in Beaumont's early days.
It's time to think back to the Southeast Texas oil boom because one local blacksmith is bringing history to life. 12 News reporter Derek Jones has been on the story all morning, and Derek, an exciting time for people here.
Yeah, Mark, it's here. It's an exciting time for people to see Rob Fleury demonstrate his blacksmithing abilities. He's been shaping metal since he was a teenager, and now he's giving people a chance to see him in action. Now, by reading books on blacksmiths, Fleury was able to forge his first sword at the age of 13. Today, he turned that passion into a craft, making everything from custom knives and axes to everyday tools. Fleury says blacksmithing is more than just shaping metal. It's about keeping an old skill alive, one that's been part of communities everywhere, including here in Southeast Texas.
The ancient Persians and the Mesopotamians were the first blacksmiths. When they struck Spindletop here, blacksmiths made all the tools that they used to drill for the oil.
It takes 6 to 8 hours to forge smaller items, and he sells his creations for anyone who's looking, mostly selling to the hunting community. Now, Spindletop will be having demonstrations showing his craft on Thursdays and Fridays from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. all the way up until November 20th. At Spindletop, Derek Jones, 12 News.
All right, here's an interesting story. If you've got long hair, whether it's on your head or on your face, you know, taking care of it can be a pain.
I miss my beard, that's for sure. In Birmingham, Alabama, one man just set a Guinness World Record for having the longest natural beard. ABC's Danny New, he spoke to him about the unique challenges that he faces.
In the Santa Claus, Tim Allen's beard grows in seconds, but for an Alabama man named, actually, Rudolph.
When did you reach the point of like, oh, I could maybe break a record with this?
Probably about the 8th year.
After more than a decade of growing out his beard, 59-year-old Rudolph Martino just set the Guinness World Record for the longest natural beard locks.
When does the feeling stop as you work down the beard?
probably halfway.
Guinness has the record listed at 3.5 feet, but Rudolph says he applied in January of 2024 with that length. So, while Guinness was doing all the necessary research,
But over that period of time, it's now 4 feet long. Yeah.
but this personal trainer actually began this journey about 20 years ago when he, brace for it, started growing out his hair.
It actually was a statement for me. It was like a sign of rebellion.
Rudolph says he began growing out the beard to complement his hair, which now measures out to 8 feet.
Sometimes I used to have pains in my neck or in my shoulders because it's so much. I'm sure it weighs some pounds, a lot of pounds.
Another pain? Rudolph says he has to keep his beard tucked into his shirt so it doesn't get caught in the car door. However, despite that hassle, Rudolph insists he is never going to cut the beard because it is a part of him now. After all, it did help launch him into the record books, which then got this reaction from his 13-year-old son, Eamon.
Oh, he was excited. He was saying, my dad, he was glad for me. My dad is known around the world.
And if you were wondering, he says that he washes his beard every 2 weeks and his hair every 3 weeks.
And he says they can take days to dry, and overall the hair is actually way harder to take care of course. You know, when it comes to dreads, people's hair is actually longer than it appears in dreads, so I mean, we're looking at a real life Rapunzel.
Boop.
Exactly.
I used to have a beard like down to here pretty much.
I'd love to see how that looked. Huh?
Oh, it was great. I wish I'd planned for this. I would have popped it up right here.
I know, right? All right, well, still ahead on Daybreak, Energy delivers dozens of air conditioners to Beaumont apartment complex. How the company says it'll help lower their bills.
When industry news breaks, we're on the front lines, digging into the issue.
Lamar is working to protect Power City from hackers.
Filtering out rumors and giving you the facts direct from inside sources.
ExxonMobil and lawyers for the United Steelworkers.
Taking on the story from all sides.
The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection last year.
Southeast Texas is a power city, and we're bringing the power to you. 12 News, putting Southeast Texas first.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, don't mess with Texas, means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, don't mess with Texas means don't litter.
It's hard to really come to terms with dementia. There are little things that you can't even begin to plan for that happen that you need the early diagnosis for. My mom has done so much for me. There's no way that I wouldn't do the same for her. It's so important to have the conversation with your doctor earlier because you just do not know what the future holds.
We begin with breaking news in Port Neches.
Firefighters continue attacking the flames from the air.
We're working to learn more about a police chase.
We'll give you a live look at the scene tonight. Our crew there.
A chase in Port Neches turned into a standoff.
So we're working to get you more information.
We're going to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
I'm meteorologist Kerry Cooper here with another hurricane tip, evacuating correctly. If local authorities advise you to evacuate, do so immediately and without delay. Bring your emergency kit and be sure to follow evacuation routes. Do not try to take shortcuts because they may be blocked. Also remember to eat and get enough sleep for you to deal with whatever stress that may come your way. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
Welcome back. President Trump returning from Egypt this morning, where he and world leaders signed a symbolic agreement to try and bring peace to the Middle East. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with those details.
This morning, President Trump returning home from the Middle East after securing a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. The president now declaring the war is over in Gaza as he warns there's still a long road ahead.
Together we've achieved what everybody said was impossible. At long last, we have peace in the Middle East.
It comes after an emotional day in Israel and Gaza.
I love
In Tel Aviv, celebrations erupted in what's become known as Hostages Square, as families were reunited with loved ones. As part of the first phase of the ceasefire agreement, Hamas releasing 20 living Israeli hostages and the bodies of some of the deceased hostages. In exchange, Israel releasing nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. But now the focus shifts to what's next. When pressed to talk about phase 2, President Trump would not commit to a two-state solution for the Palestinians.
I'm not talking about single state or double state or two-state. We're talking about the rebuilding of Gaza.
More than 20 world leaders gathered for yesterday's historic peace summit and the signing of the ceasefire agreement, but notably absent were Israel and Hamas. Experts say the memorandum appeared largely symbolic and vague. Another question moving forward, will Hamas be willing to give up its weapons? President Trump says Hamas has been given approval to rearm to serve as a Palestinian police force for a period of time.
I don't see any scenario in which Hamas is going to 100% willingly give up all their arms to the Israelis.
Sun is up now over the horizon, and we'll continue to see mostly sunny skies out there through the morning. We'll see a couple of clouds develop during the afternoon, but none of those are going to be bearing any rain for southeast Texas for today. Unfortunately, we could use some rain. Maybe this weekend could see a couple of showers, but right now will remain just hot and dry through the area. Here's a look over towards Lake Charles on our Roofie 911 live SkyCam network. You see the clear skies there. Lake Charles in the lower 60s. We're showing lower 60s in Orange and Silsbee right at 60 degrees. 64 Port Arthur, 64 in Woodville. And then we see some upper 50s. 55 right now in Jasper. That's definitely jacket weather. 58 in Kirbyville and 58 in Beaumont. A little shower activity down towards, say, South Texas, south of Corpus Christi. A little bit of active scattered showers up towards the Texas Panhandle. Besides that, pretty quiet. Not much going on across the air, especially here in southeast Texas. We'll start around 60. We'll get into the middle 70s by 10 a.m., lower 80s by lunchtime, and then we go up from there. We're expecting highs probably a little bit warmer than this, maybe 3 or 4 degrees warmer than we're showing here. So 87, 88, somewhere in that range. This evening back into the 70s, and then tomorrow morning we'll see that mix again of some 60s and 50s to start off on Wednesday. So if you like yesterday and you like today, you're going to like tomorrow as well. Our forecast out into the Atlantic calling for Tropical Storm Lorenzo to stay out there in the middle Atlantic. Not going to affect anybody. Hurricane Center says this looks like it's probably just going to stay a tropical storm. Right now winds are at 60, moving northwest at about 15. Forecast mostly sunny today. Northeasterly winds around 3 to 8 with highs around 87, 88. And then we drop back into the upper 50s and lower 60s for tonight. Most areas should be into the lower 60s, it looks like. With a little bit of a northeasterly wind continuing. 7-day forecast showing highs in the 87, 88 range all the way through Friday, even into Saturday. Our morning lows are going to be into the lower 60s, but come up a little bit as those storm systems approach for the weekend. Friday, 20% chance of a couple of showers with a weak little disturbance going by, and then Saturday into Sunday, especially late Saturday, we have a cold front coming through, and that will produce 30, maybe 40% coverage of some showers. So hopefully we'll see a little bit of shower activity there. And then going into early on Sunday, not going to help out our situation right now as far as being very dry, but at least there is some rain in the forecast.
Mm-hmm. It's something, that is for sure.
It's something.
Now, we talk about these past droughts that we've had here. Those also kind of started earlier in the summer, right? So we had more months of hot weather.
Yeah, this has just been a recent thing here, probably over the last month or so, where I think it's 2011. I think that's what the year I first came here. We had a whole summer of no rain. And we were way behind, and everything was brown this time of year, and it was not good. So it could be worse, but it could be better.
And at this point, just elevated dry. It's not drought at this point.
But still, I wouldn't be out burning anything outdoors or
Absolutely.
anything like that right now, for sure.
I'm sure people are watering their gardens and their lawns right now more than they'd like to. All right. Thank you, Jeff.
You bet.
All right, we have a traffic alert in Beaumont. The westbound lanes of I-10 Frontage Road, that's going to be between Gladys and Laurel, they are down to just one lane. Now, TxDOT, they delayed this project for several weeks after getting pushback since the eastbound Frontage Road isn't finished. But the agency says that if they had waited any longer, the project would get pushed back months because workers would be sent elsewhere.
Tenants at the Crossing Apartments in Beaumont are enjoying cool air from brand new AC units. It's thanks to a partnership from Energy and the Beaumont Housing Authority. The units were paid for through the company's energy efficiency program.
Now, 12 News reporter Ebony Coleman, she spoke to the residents who are ecstatic and, of course, much cooler.
Residents tell me these new air conditioners are a blessing. They're replacing old units that needed frequent repair.
I have COPD, I have chronic sinusitis, and I have asthma. Also, I have a heart murmur, so I have to keep it a certain kind of coolness in the house. And sometimes the old ones would freeze on us.
Trudy Mason and nearly 150 other residents at the Crossing Apartments in Beaumont now have new air conditioners.
It's smooth, it's quiet, and stuff like that, and we're comfortable in our apartments.
They were replaced by Energy this month through the company's energy efficiency program.
Energy efficiency is mandated by the state of Texas. So we have a budget to where we can do things like this once a year.
Not only are the new units keeping residents cool, they are also helping cut costs on energy bills.
A lot of apartments average between $180 and $250. With a new system, then that allows the customer to save at least $50 a month.
$50 that resident Eric Petrie says can go a long way.
I can do more medications, more groceries, or whatever I need, or just save it for the future bill.
Jennifer Gregory with the Beaumont Housing Authority says the upgrade couldn't have come soon enough.
It would have definitely taken longer to get these all replaced. This is a 15-year-old property, so they've had their time. They were still working, but a little more unreliable than others. So we're extremely grateful for this gift from Entergy.
Last year, Entergy gave new ACs to every resident at the Point North Apartments in Beaumont. Ebony Coleman, 12 News.
All right, Ebony. Well, 12 News Daybreak is giving one lucky winner a chance to win 4 tickets. That's going to be to the Symphony of Southeast Texas. The October 25th show is going to be at the Julie Rogers Theater in downtown Beaumont. It's going to have music and acrobatics. You have until 6:30 a.m. this Friday to enter for these free tickets. Just go to 12newsnow.com/contest, and we're going to announce the winner Friday at the end of the 6 o'clock hour, and we will mail the lucky winner those tickets. And when Daybreak returns here on 12 News Plus, we're going to have more news and weather in your morning rush out. Your time is 7:52.
As tropical activity picks up in the Gulf, 12 News is your hurricane headquarters. Get prepared before a storm hits. Watch the 12 News Hurricane Special, streaming on 12 News Plus. From the must-haves in your supply kit to the evacuation routes you'll need to take, plus safety tips and how you can protect yourself from storm scammers. The 12 News Hurricane Special, keeping you prepared. Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
No matter where we start, every mile brings us closer. And as Texans, we take care of each other along the way. We lend a hand, slow down, and take our time. At the end of the day, we all want to get home safe. Drive like a Texan. Kind, courteous, and safe.
The impact killed my dad and brother instantly. A man, after drinking excessively with his co-workers, ran a stop sign, T-boned my parents' Honda, and destroyed our family. He could have just said, hey, I'm not okay. There's Lyft, there's Uber, there's taxis. There's so many other options. Every day, someone else can be taken away.
The STEM fields are providing opportunity to be part of the developments that will shape the future, and the Army National Guard is at the forefront of the movement. Soldiers can serve part-time and choose from dozens of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics jobs, working with cutting-edge technology and innovations. And the skills and experience they receive can open doors for them to civilian careers in the STEM world. Join a team that is taking the lead in STEM by talking to a local recruiter or by going to nationalguard.com/careers.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn, here with some hurricane tips for protecting yourself against flooding. Take shelter in a designated storm shelter or an interior room and stay away from glass windows of doors. And if flooding begins, move to higher ground immediately. Never walk, swim, or drive through floodwaters. Remember, turn around, don't drown. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy.
Welcome back to Daybreak, 7:55 right now, and that means it's time for your morning rush out.
Here's everything you need to know as you start your day. A contractor was killed while working at the Motiva plant yesterday in Port Arthur. A Motiva spokesperson says it happened close to 3 p.m. yesterday. The company hasn't said what led up to the incident, but did say it's investigating. Motiva also offered condolences in a statement to 12 News. OSHA has reported 55 accidents or deaths at the Port Arthur refinery in the last 10 years.
And the Port of Port Arthur is hoping that voters are going to say yes to a new bond proposal that comes with a property tax increase as it seeks $92 million to expand. Now that money would go toward infrastructure and better port access. Now this is for voters in Port Arthur along with some areas of Groves and Sabine Pass who would see a tax increase of $4 a month for every $100,000 of property that they own.
Several Southeast Texas counties now under a burn ban. Jefferson and Orange are the latest to be added to the list. That also includes Tyler, Newton, Liberty, and Chambers counties. Conditions are extremely dry, meaning there's an elevated wildfire risk. Local fire departments want you to avoid any outdoor burning, including campfires.
And unfortunately, no rain in the forecast for today. We do see a small chance for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But those chances only bring us a chance for maybe a few light showers here and there, quarter of an inch, tenth of an inch, something like that. Well, we're almost 9 inches behind for the year, so we could use a little bit more than that. Otherwise, just mild mornings in the 60s and afternoon highs in the upper 80s.
Absolutely. Well, I was expecting one more read there, but it went away on me.
It's okay. Just take in that weather forecast for a second.
Well, I'm going to take this time to say thanks for watching us.
We'll be back at 11.
Have a great day, everybody.